You all know that Brexit did not happen immediately after the Brexit referendum in 2016. There were exhausting negotiations between the UK and the EU, first about the exit of the UK and then about the future relationship between the EU and the UK. After the official Brexit on January 31st in 2020, where the UK officially left the EU and with it the Parliament, there was a transitional period until December 31st in 2020 to implement the new relationship. There are indeed some longer transitional periods for some areas, but that was the important one. People are talking a lot about the level of preparation for Brexit on the different sides, or especially the lack of preparations. So in a few of my videos, 29 in the end, I will give you an overview about the extent of preparations by different countries involved, and of course the UK and the EU. And today I will tell you about the preparations in Bulgaria. Bulgaria, like other European Union member states, had been preparing for the UK's departure from the EU, commonly known as Brexit, throughout the transition period that lasted until the end of 2020. The transition period was a time for negotiations between the UK and the EU to determine their future relationship, including trade, of course, but also other important aspects. And during this transition period, Bulgaria, along with other EU member states, engaged in various preparations to mitigate potential disruptions and ensure a smooth transition when the UK formally left the EU single market and the customs union. And of course, like you know, in these videos, I have the key areas of those preparations for you as well. Bulgaria, like other EU countries, made those preparations for changes in customs procedures, but also tariffs and trade regulations that would come into effect after the transition period. And this involved training customs officials, updating administrative processes, and ensuring that businesses were informed about the new procedures that were in place then for trading with the UK. And Bulgaria, along with the EU, negotiated and agreed upon the rights of UK citizens living in Bulgaria and Bulgarian citizens living in the UK after Brexit. The rights of citizens were a significant focus of negotiations to provide clarity and protection for individuals affected by the UK's departure from the EU. And Bulgaria worked to align its regulations and standards with those of the EU to maintain a consistent and harmonized approach to various sectors, such as product standards, safety regulations, and also financial services. And preparations were made to ensure the continued flow of goods and people between Bulgaria and the UK, including through transportation networks and border crossings. And the Bulgarian government and the relevant authorities communicated regularly with businesses, citizens, and stakeholders to provide information about the changes that would occur after the transition period. This was aimed at minimizing confusion and ensuring a smooth transition. Before the end of the transition period on December 31st in 2020, Brexit preparations were considered highly important for all affected countries, both within the European Union and the United Kingdom. The transition period began after the UK officially left the EU on January 31st in 2020, and it allowed time for both parties to negotiate their future relationship and, very importantly, make necessary arrangements. Some did, to a very high extent, and some others not so much. And that's why I do this little series of videos. And if you want to see another video right now, the next one is here on the end screen. I'll see you there. I'll be back.